Supervisors meeting to order. Welcome everyone that's in attendance. And at this time, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance immediately following invocation by Reverend Jones.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Eternal and all-wise God, we thank you for who you are. You're great and you're greatly to be praised. And we, God, ask for your guidance. We ask for your direction. Pray that you might bless this board as we do the business of this community. We ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, is there any items to be added to the agenda by anyone? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is our citizen public comment period. This time is provided by the board to allow citizens the opportunity to address the board on issues of importance to these citizens. No individual citizen shall be permitted to address the board for more than 3 minutes. And I understand nobody signed up, excuse me. And if you did not sign up, you failed to, but you'd like to address the board, let us know. Okay. Moving right along is appearances. Resolution honoring Martha Chardy on her retirement from the J. Robert Jameson Memorial Library. Yeah, staff has prepared a resolution honoring Martha Chardy on her retirement from the J. Robinson Memorial Library. And I have it here, and I would ask my fellow members to join me out here. Like we normally do. Hey, Martha, we do things, we do it straight up. Right?
Okay.
Yes, right front. And you can come up here if you like. This won't take about 30 minutes.
You have your speech ready, right?
All right, resolution honoring Martha Chardy on her retirement from the J. Robert Jameson Library, Memorial Library. Whereas Martha Chardy began her career with the J. Robinson Jameson Memorial Library in August of 1996 as a part-time library page. And whereas Martha Chardy was promoted to a full-time employee as a library technician in 1998, and whereas Martha Chardy currently holds the title of Technical Services Specialist as in charge of cataloging the majority of library-owned materials, and whereas Martha Chardy has served as acting co-director of the library several times over the years in the periods between library directors. And whereas Martha Charity has been instrumental in developing policies, addressing overdue materials, book collections and selections, and the general running of the library. And whereas Martha Charity has demonstrated talent for research and also a knack for choosing books and other materials that quickly become popular with the library patrons. And whereas Martha Charity has proven to be very loyal and is very proud to have contributed to the Appomattox community through the years of employment with the local library. And whereas Martha Charity has served multiple generations of Appomattox children and is fondly remembered by many parents who will now bring their own children to the library as the parents once brought them. And whereas Martha Charity has announced her retirement from the J. Robert Jameson Memorial Library effective November the 3rd, 2023. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Appomattox County Board of Supervisors does hereby express its gratitude and appreciation to Martha Charity for her 27 years of loyal service to the J. Robinson Jameson Memorial Library and its patrons, recognizing that our local library would not be the same without her heartfelt input and hard work. Be it further resolved that the Appomattox County Board of Supervisors extends to Martha Charity best wishes for a happy, long, and rewarding retirement. Adopted by the Appomattox County Board of Supervisors on this 16th day of October 2023. Congratulations, ma'am. And each one of them want to shake your hand. Thank you. We'll be down tomorrow checking that phone.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board formally adopt the resolution that Ms. Charlie.
A second.
Second.
Motion formally made and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is a public hearing. Amendment to FY 2024 budget. A duly advertised public hearing has been scheduled to receive comments on amending FY 24 budget and appropriating $4,500,000 in accordance with the Code of Virginia 15.2-2507, which requires a public hearing when there is an increase to the currently adopted budget greater than 1%. The purpose of the amendment is to incorporate monies received from the Virginia Department of Education School Construction Assistance Program, better known as SCAP, grant award to support the completion of many of the addendum items in the Appomattox County High School addition and renovation PPEA project. Okay, public hearing is now open. Anyone here would like to address that? I should say anyone here that's for this. Hearing none, is it anyone here that is not in favor of this? Hearing none, then I will hereby close this public hearing. And before we go, let's go into before the next public hearing, let's take a vote on this, on the $4,500,000 project. The floor is open for conversation on this.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we amend the FY 24 budget and appropriate the $4.5 million in accordance with Code of Virginia 15.2-2507.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Hibbs. Aye. Reverend Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Hinkle.
Aye.
Mr. Hogan.
Aye.
I also vote aye. Next, we got a public hearing amendment to zoning ordinance administrative variance. As duly advertised, public hearing has been scheduled to receive comments on amending the Appomattox County zoning code, section 19.6-41, authority to grant administrative variances. The amendment will repeal this section to its entirety. Currently, an applicant for a variance may elect to seek a variance through an administrative process or through the Board of Zoning Appeals at the time of filing. With the repeal of this section, applicants for a variance will petition directly to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Anyone here to speak on this category? Hearing none, excuse me, Ms. Mayor,
Yes, and I just wanted to,
come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
I just wanted to make sure that it would be on the public record. Johnny and I had discussed this, that this would not impact the administrative variances that would take place in Pamplin. They could still choose either for Pamplin. So,
Any answer to that?
yeah, that was just, I just wanted it on, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
I just wanted to make sure it was on the public record when.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone here to speak against it? Therefore, is there a motion amending the Appomattox County zoning ordinance to repeal in its entirety section 19.6-41, authority to grant administrative variances?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we amend the Appomattox zoning ordinance to repeal in its entirety section 19.6-41, authority to grant administrative variances.
The second?
Second.
Okay, second, do the second. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hogan?
I guess I have a couple of questions. Number one, how often do we use these administrative variances? And how, I don't want to create another level of red tape for somebody who's trying to add a garage to their house or build something. I want to make sure I understand what we're doing here, because I'm not.
So I'll answer the first part of it as far as like the numbers. So this was put in the ordinance back in 2014, and it has increasingly become more and more almost a workaround. And what is, one of the things that's happening is part of the process is that the neighbors are notified, and just the way things are today, they have an opportunity to object, which will automatically send it to the BZA. No one objects at that time. Once the variance is issued, we're having people come in and object, which is causing neighborhood conflicts that, just shouldn't arise, but they're arising after the fact. Once the variance is issued, the variance is issued. So we're taking out that part where they would just simply go to the BZA, and the BZA would hear the case and either issue or deny that. We're not creating that other level. That level is already there, the BZA already exists.
What we're doing is we're basically saying everybody needs to go the same way.
Right.
Everybody needs to go through the BZA, which is a public process, open to the public review, it's like a public hearing. And it eliminates these people trying to, well, you can go after the Johnny, you can go after the BZA, and people trying to game the system, to kind of figure out which way they want to go. So it literally just puts everybody on the same level playing field, that maybe get noticed, the public opportunity to speak forward. And it doesn't affect putting in a garage or anything. These variances only apply for something so weird about the property that you simply can't meet, for example, a setback. You got a creek running through your property, but you can't meet the setback on the back because of the creek, well, that might be something you could variance. You can't just have a variance and say, I want to build my garage 2 feet closer to the river than everybody else. You're not allowed to have a variance for that. It has to be a special circumstance, if there's something unique. And so that just makes more sense as a public judicial process, which is what the BZA, it doesn't. BZA sets a hearing, you come in, you make the case why you should get it, and it's still a half-an-hour process.
So how often do these unique circumstances come up that, where this applies?
Prior to having this process once or twice a year, through this process, which people perceive as easier, coming up to 8 or 10 times a year.
Yeah, the other counties we represent, once or twice a year seems to be sort of the new, the BZA. Because King Swift has something really unique. I think what a lot of people misunderstand, you're gonna help them out too, is they think, well, I used to fly to Johnny and he can let me put my garage.
So if that's the case, then I'm not clear why, if it's the same rules for everybody either way, why are we gonna do something that would make it harder or take longer for someone to develop a piece of property or add to it or something? I'm not clear on that.
My reason, I'm going to suggest this, my reason was, Johnny's the planning director, he's helping people with CDP applications, he's helping citizens through the process. It sort of puts him in I'll call it somewhat of a conflict of interest, that he's supposed to be, these zoning variances are supposed to be kind of strictly construed against you. And so Johnny, it really is to protect Johnny from being put on the spot and getting pressure from citizens and, why can't you approve this? And just simply saying, look, there is a process that state law put in, is a normal process, which is BZA. State law allows this other process, but that's not the normal process. But you have to have a BZA process. And so we're just suggesting, take the pressure off of Johnny. People are lobbying and trying to get a BZA, you have a court-appointed board. And so, there are more neutral group of people, and you're not working in the day-to-day planning and development, working for BZA, you're working for planning. And so it just didn't make sense to have, making wear that hat as well, and the potential conflict of citizens, why don't you approve this? So that was the reason we originally talked about it.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Hinkle.
And I agree with what the attorney said, because, it does put pressure on Johnny, and again, you got one man making a decision that he basically is handling all parts of, whereby having to go towards a multi-member board who are outside of the process, they can see the variance and the ramifications more clear than, Johnny, who's living in the forest because they're outside, can see all the trees, so to speak.
Any other comments? All right, we have a roll call vote. Mr. Hibbs. Reverend Jones. Mr. Hinkle.
Aye.
Mr. Hogan.
No.
And I vote no, aye. Okay, next is school appropriation request. Attached is a request from Dr. Bennett, school superintendent, to appropriate $30,000 from the Jobs for Virginia Graduates, JVG, Initiative Grant Award received on September the 8th, 2023. Attached for our review is the appropriation request and notice of award from the Department of Education. The floor is open for discussion on the school grant receiving this appropriation.
Mr. Chairman, that's maybe a question for Ms. Adams, but this doesn't require any new local funding on our part, correct? Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the $30,000 appropriation request from the Virginia Graduates Initiative Grant. Jobs for Virginia and Graduates Initiative Grant.
Motion duly made, is that second?
Second.
Further discussion? Roll call vote, Mr. Hips. Reverend Jones. Mr. Hinkle.
Aye.
Mr. Hogan.
Aye.
I also vote aye. Now, instead of public hearing, we need to schedule one. Schedule public hearing RZZ 30663, Kojana LLC. Kojana LLC has positioned to rezone property located off Amy Lane near the intersection of Cedar Lane, just outside of the town of Appomattox limits. The petitioner has requested to rezone the parcel from R1 low-density residential to A1 agriculture. The Planning Commission met earlier this month and will forward a recommendation for approval to the Board of Supervisors. The board will need to hold a public hearing prior to discussion of the petition and Planning Commission recommendation. Let me just ask a question. Have they sent this? Okay, at that point in time. Okay. All right. Okay, we need to schedule this public hearing, gentlemen. Is there a motion to schedule this for the November 20th, 23 meeting? Is there a second? Discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, fiscal year 24 budget appropriations. At the June meeting, the board voted to only appropriate the first quarter or 25% of the FY 2024 budget. The first quarter ended on September the 30th, 2023, and in order to continue to pay the bills, staff is requesting the board's consideration to appropriate the balance of 75% of the FY 24 budget. And that means consider appropriating $40,065,376.50, which is the remaining balance of the budget. Now, any discussion on that? Mr. Hogan? Nope.
I just noticed there's a comma where a period should be,
I know.
and it's 40 million, not 40 billion.
Right. 40 million, yes. I saw that too when I first read it. I said, oh, no. Okay, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we appropriate the remainder of our budget for the 2024 fiscal year in the amount of $40,065,376.50.
Motion duly made. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Hibbs. Reverend Jones. Mr. Hinkle.
Aye.
Mr. Hogan.
Aye.
I also vote aye. Budget work session. In order to amend the FY 24 county operating budget based on the state's final budget, staff requests consideration of the board to schedule a special call meeting for the purpose of the budget work session. Now, consider scheduling a budget work session on Wednesday, October the 25th, which is a Thursday, at 6 p.m. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. We got two different dates. Three? All right, three. I'll adjust my glasses. So what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I have conflicts on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so Monday would be my preference.
Okay, October the 30th.
Yes.
Does it sound to the rest of the members?
I'm good for any of those dates. 30th is fine.
Okay. Is there a motion then to have the budget work session Monday, October the 30th at 6 p.m.?
Office.
Oh, Lord, claustrophobic room.
I mean, we can have it here if you'd like it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Next, gentlemen, is committee appointments, Social Service Board appointments. Please consider an appointment to the Social Service Board to fill the vacated position of Mrs. Rowena Ferguson, who passed away in August 2023. The unexpired term will end June the 30th, 2024. And gentlemen, I have a person that I know, that will fulfill that vacancy. Great. And his name is Lacey J. Webb Jr. He's 65 years of age. He's retired. He worked 34 years for Campbell County Schools as a teacher and school administrator. He's been a lifelong resident of Appomattox County. He graduated Norfolk State University in 1979 with a BS degree, graduated Lynchburg College, master's degree in education. Served on numerous team building and committee assignments. He's a member of Canaan Baptist Church, Appomattox, Virginia. He's an avid chess player, and best of all, he's a golfer in his spare time. So I will submit his name to be appointed to the Social Service Board and to fulfill the unexpired term of Rowena Ross. I'll make that in form of motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. So, Ms. Adams, you want? I got a question. We're gonna meet Wednesday morning, Social Service Board. Okay, now, there's no more legal activities needs to take place other than this board right here. So Mr. Webb can attend the meeting as a bona fide member, okay? Somebody told me, no, you can't do that because it has to go before the judge and he's got to appoint. I said, no, it ain't, not my day to have. No, I wasn't. No, thank goodness. All right. Okay, gentlemen, next is our consent agenda. The consent agenda includes approval of our bills, minutes, supplemental appropriations, line item transfers, and fund transfers. Any item on the consent agenda shall be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any board member prior to the vote on the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be considered by the board individually in order in which they were removed from the consent agenda immediately following consideration of the consent agenda. Hope everyone's had an opportunity to review the consent agenda as it is. Is there any concerns or any issues anyone has at this time? Well, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
No discussion? Therefore, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Hibbs? Reverend Jones? Mr. Hinks?
Aye.
Mr. Holt?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Mr. Latchney? Thank you, sir. Mrs. Adams?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Everyone has a copy of the report in front of them. You can, like Mr. Carter says, peruse it, and if you see anything that you have questions about, I did want to notate something I didn't include in there, is we do have a new social services director. I don't know if Mr. Carter wants to speak to that, but it's Lindsay Hicks, who's currently employed there as a social worker, and she has assumed that position.
That's fine. Just steal all my thunder.
I'm sorry. Also, you'll notice under the county administrator's report, we have hired a financial person position replacing Ms. Marshall's position, and we conducted those interviews last week. We did telephone interviews, then we did in-person interviews, and the lady's name is Janet McConville, and she is a resident of Appomattox County. Also, she's currently employed at Prince Edward County School System, and she was employed with the city of Lynchburg prior to that. So she has a lot of local government financial background, which we're excited about. And something we were talking about prior to the meeting, the registrar sent a proposal from the electoral board about the county assuming the moving of the voting machines. And I've spoken with Jeff, and we've decided that that will work. And so this year, hopefully, on Election Day, or the day before, those machines will be moved by county staff.
All right. Any questions for Mrs. Adams?
I guess something on a positive note is Mr. Rourke and I attended the Virginia Tobacco Commission meeting in where was that place we went? Blackstone last week. And the Votex Center was awarded $318,000 for upfitting, for equipment to upfit the phase 1 of the classes. So they had, it was unanimous of the Education Committee and also the commission.
Beautiful,
So-
beautiful. Anything else? Oh, you've already got in that, but historic railroad. Anything else you'd like to report?
Other than I did send out the email from Ms. Phelps, the treasurer, about the LGIP account, and that's still gaining a considerable amount of revenue monthly.
Great. Any member have any questions for Ms. Adams? All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hinkle?
I don't know if this would go to Ms. Adams or Mr. Rourke, but I do have a question. Is there a significant increasing amount of new home structures and mobile homes over previous years, or is it just normal? I just wondered, because I look at all the pre-manufactured and mobile homes going up in Falling River District, and I'm going, where are all these people coming from?
Well, I think you're seeing a shift from stick-built dwellings to manufactured homes, so I think you're also seeing that.
And if you,
But the overall number would be about the same. It'd be the cost.
interest rates, yeah. But you will notice those numbers are considerably about a third of what they were last month. So that trend, you're seeing that downward trend occur now. Yeah.
I think we generally lag behind, so like Ms. Adams was saying, if you're seeing that trend start, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few months. Hopefully, we have this reset and move it.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little.
Any other questions? Okay. Next is, we have before us the school financial report and also the Robert E. Lee Soil and Water Conservation District meeting minutes. Any questions on those two items?
May I mention one more, Mr. Carter?
Oh, please do.
No, we had received an invitation from Carver Price Legacy Museum for a fundraiser they're having on Sunday, October the 22nd. So I'm not sure if it was emailed or not, but it's from 2 to 5. They're having gospel sing and some bouncy houses for the kids, and they're also serving fried fish or fried chicken dinners.
Oh,
So I have a flyer if anyone wants to see that.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, gentlemen, supervisor concerns. Mr. Hibbs. Reverend Jones. Mr. Hinkle.
Well, I had one citizen concerned with an intersection, and VDOT is on the project, so I'm interested to see how they resolve that. It's a kind of a blind or hidden intersection. And then, other than that, from the Workforce Committee meeting, both Superintendent Bennett was there, and also Megan, I can't remember her name, but she's responsible with working with the workforce. And as I understand, if I heard things right, there's 2 or 3 high school students now that are being paid to earn a trade through the workforce development funding.
That's great. Yes. Mr. Hogan?
Nothing, I did want to thank publicly the folks that worked to put the Railroad Festival together. I know there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and it's just a very few people doing it, and they need some help. But I was really impressed with how many vendors they had at the festival this year. I know the rain put a little damper on things Saturday, but still had a big showing, especially Sunday. So just kudos to those folks who've been working all year to put that together, and their efforts are appreciated.
Mr. Hogan, I don't think you could have said that any better. And I personally would like to thank Mr. Hinkle, yes, sir, for helping me. This year was a little bit different because of the inclement weather. There was nothing to read from. Who was what? Who was John, who was Dick, who was Harry? Nothing. So we just ad-libbed. Yeah. That's a fact. But I do want to thank you, sir.
The parade lineup got kind of on the fly because of the weather. They couldn't park everybody where they wanted to park.
Oh, I got two items. I just need a clarification, pretty much. Number one, I've been noticing on the news in Roanoke, but the dog pound. You heard about some kind of virus now has infected the dog pound in Roanoke, and they are not accepting any more animals at this present time until they can get this under control. So I don't know what it is. They never did say, but no more. I don't know. That's what I thought. Might have been. Don't know. And the other concern I had, okay, we're going through a period right now, I think we're still going through it, of early voting. Okay, now, on this early voting is our registrar collecting those votes, making a tally, instead of waiting till the voting is over with. The regular voting day was at November 4th, 7th, or what? Now, do you know Ms. Adams? I would,
I would assume that it's in the machine.
My understanding, Mr. Chairman, is they would know how many folks have voted. They won't start counting those votes until election day, is my understanding of how that, and that's set by state code. I think that's how that works, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% positive.
So, state code, okay. That settles that. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything at this time? Then I also like to say to Reverend Jones, thank you for getting back safe and sound from your trip, and just glad everything worked out. Oh, and one other very important deal that we have, yeah, before us. Ace, newly married, congratulations. And upon saying that, Mr. Hinkle.
Mr. Chairman, let us rise.
All right.